سلام علیکم. ما اینجا آمدیم روز در کلاس هستیم. در کلاس درس میخوانیم اینجا به خاطر که امروز یک جلسه خیلی بزرگتر داریم. به اون خاطر یک ویدیو گفتیم بگیریم دیگه. شما بیننده باشید دوستای عزیز.
My name is Katie Kroger. I am a mortgage loan officer with Lincoln Federal. I've been in banking for almost 25 years and been in mortgage for 15. So I'm going to kind of walk you through some different mortgage programs that our bank has to offer, and just mortgage programs in general. And on the following slides are solely those of the presenter, me, are not necessarily those of Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Lincoln Federal Savings Bank does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information provided herein. So the very first question when you're shopping for a mortgage, why would you choose Lincoln Federal? Lincoln Federal does have in-house underwriting. And what that means for you is an underwriter is who ultimately makes the decision whether you get the house or not, gives the yes or the no. So having in-house underwriters means that they sit here physically in Lincoln, Nebraska. So they are very, very familiar with the Lincoln market and surrounding areas in Nebraska. The reason why that becomes so important is some of the online lenders may not know that a smaller community outside of Lincoln can be compared to another smaller community outside of Lincoln if they're looking at mileage. So being familiar with the area that you lend in is extremely important. So having those in-house underwriters here in Lincoln is very valuable to us. We can do short closings. What that means is typically when you do have a pre-qualification letter from a bank, you work with a realtor and they write an offer for you to purchase a property. Now, offer is a legal binding document and it has a closing date on it. Most realtors here in Lincoln will put it out for about 30 days. Local lenders can almost always close that in 30 days or less. Sometimes when you're using other lenders that may be online or have to outsource things, that can prolong your closing, which causes people headache, right? So having short,
comparatively not a lot, but that 88% utilization, you're using a lot of it. So when it reports to the bureaus, they're like, oh, this one's being used a lot. Even though the balance isn't a ton, it's still giving you that ratio. So what they do, if you click next, is they do an initial one of just each individual part and how much you're using, but then they do an overall revolving utilization. So you factor in all the balances, you add all of them up, you add all the credit limits. In this example, this person was only using 6% of their credit. So that's a fantastic area you want to be in. Kind of the thresholds, like I said, 50% and below, you're going to see some positive influence on your scores. 25% below, even more. 10 to 12% is like the excellent category for the credit bureaus where you'll get the max scores. But really, if you can be under that 50%, that's where you want to be. And then just giving you again an example with loans. So these ones, the example where this auto loan and this mortgage came out, and this is the first time they're being reported, you have that 100%. They'll still factor in, I have a student loan on here that's at 40% utilization. They merge all those together, so it's not just individual. But again, it shows you have some big balances on an auto loan or a home loan. Those first few months that it reports, it's going to ding a little bit because that balance is so high compared to how much you could have gotten. So just know that that'll go down over time. Okay, so length of time. This is another one I get asked a lot is I've had this card for 15 years, I never use it, but I've never had a late payment on it, and the credit limit's $500. Should I close it? I'm not using it. If that's your situation, I would argue keep it open, because having 15 years of great credit history is going to boost your score a lot, even if the balance and you're not using it. That 15 years, you can't get that back. So if you open up and
come back here, tuck myself back and hold on.
اینو میخواد شاگرد این هسته.
Okay, we need them to stop. Again, reminder, make sure the sound on your phones is off. We don't want to hear any phones.
یکم استاد از موینیمیا
If this was an
کتی
ELL class, you
به
would go
نام
home.
کتینه جان.
I think you've got a full house. So
حالا
go ahead.
درس از من شروع میشه.
We will go ahead and get started then. My name is Eric Bertrand. I am a loan officer at Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. I have been in mortgage for 5 years. I started as a processor, so I worked on the back end to help get loans approved through underwriting for 2.5 years, and I've been a loan officer for another 2.5 years. And Katie and I are both going to present about the mortgage process. I'm going to start talking about credit and credit scores and what goes into that to start us off, and then Katie will talk through the mortgage process. So a little bit about me, a little bit more about me. I'm basically a nerd. I love numbers and I love helping people with finances. I have a master's in family financial planning. I am an accredited financial counselor, and recently I'm a certified divorce lending professional. And I do have to read this legal disclaimer because our bank legal department told me so, so I'm going to do that. The opinions expressed in this presentation and on the following slides are solely those of the presenter and not necessarily those of Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Lincoln Federal Savings Bank does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information provided herein. The presenter is not a tax advisor, life insurance advisor, licensed investment advisor, licensed insurance agent. This material has been prepared for informational purposes only. It is not intended to provide, it should not be relied on for tax, legal, insurance, and or accounting advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, insurance, accounting advisors before engaging in any transaction. I know what I'm talking about. Promise. So, what is credit? Just at a high level, it's the ability to borrow money with the understanding that you will pay it back. Credit increases your buying power, allows you to buy more than what you currently have available. So, what is a credit score? That's what we hear. Credit score this, credit score that. Essentially, a credit score is a number that comes from a formula or a model from different credit bureaus that tells lenders or people who are going to loan out money how creditworthy this person is, whether or not they're going to pay it back. And so they assign a score to help us determine that. Again, that's the high level of it. It doesn't really get into a lot of nitty-gritty. But the 3 main credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they are the ones that we rely on for scores and to calculate all of that for you. And each of those 3 bureaus uses a different scoring model. It's not all uniform, they all do their own thing, but we'll all try and get it to where we learn about the basics of it and what the generalized is. Okay, so why are credit scores important? It allows you to be able to get money and be able to have loaned money with the understanding that again you'll pay it back. But it also helps determine your interest rate. Credit scores are a big factor in determining what your interest rate will be on a loan. So the better your scores, the lower your interest rate, which means the less you pay over the life of the loan. The lower your credit score, likely the higher your interest rate will be, just means you pay more over the life of the loan. So that's why credit scores are important. Go to the next slide. There we go. Oh, you're good. So what makes up a credit score? There's really 5 main factors. Payment history is the biggest one, and that's going to make up about 35% of your credit score. The amount you owe is another big factor. That's about 30%. A big one is length of time, and that's about 15%. Then you have a mixture of accounts, minimum account activity about 10%, and then new accounts is about 10%. Again, each credit bureau has their own scoring model that those numbers kind of reflect a little bit differently, but just as a good baseline, that's a good representation of what makes up the score.
Through the process, always do ask. It is best for you to understand what you're doing and really ask the questions. But a common loan term would be the property type, that credit score requirement could go up. So for an example, a condominium requires a 680. Most properties that I lend on is a single family dwelling, and that's a 640. It does allow a debt to income ratio up to 50%, huge benefit of NYFA is that there are down payment assistance programs. So that means if you want to get into an FHA loan, and you know it requires 3.5% down, you have a good credit score, but you don't have 3.5% down, we can do a second loan at 1% to help you borrow that money to qualify. So those down payment assistance programs are huge, only offered through NYFA programs. NYFA backs the only four mortgage loans. So you can do a NYFA conventional, a NYFA VA, NYFA USDA, NYFA FHA. NYFA backs all of those. NYFA does offer low rates and fees for our first-time home buyers or our borrowers who meet certain income requirements. NYFA does look at household income. So that means if I have 5 people living in the house, a couple, and they have a 19-year-old son, I do, correct. That would be NYFA or any of our grant programs through Federal Home Loan Bank. And that is a really, really great point. The grant programs are a first come, first serve. We have to have a purchase agreement to put you on the list. Banks are only allowed so much funds from them, and when the funds run out, they run out. So a lot of times, if you are seeking those grant funds, I would recommend that your realtor write it into your purchase agreement if you don't have a backup plan.
And early in the fiscal year, whatever that is.
They typically open those funds up in March.
Oh, okay.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and medical debt, what does that do to your credit report?
Great question. A lot from the mortgage side actually allows us to exclude that and not worry about it. So that's all really recent, but yeah, you don't have to really worry about it in terms of credit anymore on the mortgage side. There's still, it's still out there, and you still want to make sure that we're getting it taken care of, but in terms of credit scores, should not be a factor.
از کلاس برو میشیم دیگه فعلا ختم شده.
We're going to get ready to do the drawing here in just a couple minutes. So make sure that all the cards are ready. Please.
Thank you.
Finish?
Finished.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
You can wait.
کلاس های ما خلاص شدن. حالا میریم چی؟ پس برمیگردیم ده میریم. خاطر کلاس ما ختم شد. امروز یک پروگرامی خیلی خاصی بود. دیگه عالی فینیش شده. حالا میخوایم بریم خانه. دیگه فعلا خلاص شده.
Thank you for your patience. I know this is a long, hot sit.
Yeah,
Time sheets tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do
Today do 2 class. Why? 2 class. One class here.
It's a different time.
Yeah.
So we will fix your time sheet tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is Katie Najar. This is my teacher.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to it. Hi.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
he's
this
our
is my-
wizard.
yeah,
He's the
this is my
technology
friend.
guy.
I also do pictures. And videos.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a Herman, Sanford. Yeah, Herman.
شاگردار قرعه‌کشی یا قرعه‌کشی.
Yeah, wave, Corey, wave your hand. Everybody is going to stand by Corey.
جایزه میده جایزه. هر شاگرد جایزه میده.
Our fourth winner is Patrick. Patrick Harris. And our next winner is
Ruah Shahab.
all right. Our sixth winner, Tho Lee. Number 7. Kali Hussein.
Ali Hussein.
Number 8.
Katrina Elm.
Katrina Helm. All right, number 9.
هیچ کس از همه کشورها هست با خاطر از یک تشویق که اینا درس بخونه. کجا؟
Number 10. Ibrahim Hassim. Yeah. Number 11. Hot dough. Yeah, nice.
از ما رو نمیکشه. مایکل. از ما رو چرا نمیکشه؟ جایزه ما رو بدار. غلام نظری.
I think this is 13.
Caroline Pickerel.
Oh.
We're going to start again. Number 14. Bring it in. Number 15.
Over there. Thank you. You're welcome.
Veronica Gonzalez.
No. Ghulam Hussein, no. Layla.
Next winner we have is Kelly KJ Shield. Okay, we've got 2 grand prizes left, and then we have 7 other drawings. So I believe we have 2 more.
قرکشی دیگه قرکشی بود. لیلا. Good job.
And for the last grand prize.
خب خلاص شد دیگه کلی جایزه گرفتن یک دیسکاونت گرفتن و دیگه گرفتن دیگه فعلا ما بر میشیم از اینجا دیگه میبینید شما دوستای عزیز بیننده ما باشین لایک کامنت سابسکرایب از یادتون نره دوستای عزیز دیگه از اینجا ما خداحافظی مونیم بای بر آمدیم اینه در پیش خانه یعنی اسکول که ما درس میخوانیم اینجا است دیگه یعنی هر روز تقریبا 8 ماه 9 ماه میشه که ما اینجا آمدیم برای درس خواندن درس میخوانیم یعنی روز یک جلسه بود که جلسه نتیجه درس خوانده برای ما میداد که مثلا یکان دیسکاونت قلم قواس یک چیزایی که میداد یک تشویق شده بچه دیگه مردم از هر رقم مردمی که هستن خب تا برنامه بعد دیگه خدا حافظ دوستای عزیز ما در نبراسکا هستیم نبراسکا لینکن در منطقه لینکن هستیم دیگه تا برنامه بعد خدا یارو نگهداری کلیتان خدا حافظ دوستای عزیز لایک کامنت سابسکرایب حتما از یادتون نره دیگه با امانی خدا